Welcome to the Insurance Marketing Organization podcast, where financial services marketing expert Seth Greene interviews IMO experts, executives, and top producers to share can't-miss tips on how they successfully manage their IMOs, grow their businesses, create great relationships, and influence the industry. And now, here's your host, Seth Greene.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today, I have the good fortune to be joined by Chris Paradiso of Paradiso Insurance. Chris, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's go back in time a little bit. How did you get started in the business?
As crazy and simple as it is, I was told at 8 years old from a close family friend who was pick me up and take me fishing that someday I would be in insurance. And who would ever think who grows up thinking they're going to end up in insurance? But that's really how it started. And that gentleman played a big impact in my life. So
I think you've got probably one of the more interesting answers to that question that we've ever heard. No, you certainly have the earliest one. No one's ever said, I knew from the age of 8. So congratulations on that. Now, obviously, there's been a journey along the way. So
absolutely.
So you didn't obviously get into the business at the age of 8, even though the seed was planted. When did you start?
I started in 1998, about 5-6 months after I graduated college, and I was transporting prisoners and knew that wasn't my calling.
So you didn't want to drive Con Air, and then no. So then you said, you know what, that thing I heard about when I was 8, I should go do. Did you start off working for somebody else, or did you start?
I did.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So I was fortunate enough, a gentleman most financial people would know. It was created financial needs analysis for the whole industry, which his last name was Wolf, and it was called Burning Publishing. His son, his grandson played basketball with me, and I called him up and said, hey, you said call you after college about insurance. And I took him to lunch, and he basically plopped me down and says, call these 4 people. These are the 4 places. And then when you pick, let me know. I called him back and said, hey, interviewed all, got hired at all, but I really want to go this route. And he says, no, you're not. And I said, no, I'm not. He's like, do you want to stay in the insurance space, or do you want to succeed? You're going to go here. I said, then why'd you give me 4 options? I gave 4 options because everybody loves options, but you really only had one if you're going to stay in the business. I ended up in New York Life because of the training, and Mr. Wolf said, you're going to go here because we want to see you in the industry for the long term. And that's how it started.
How many years did you spend at New York Life?
11. And because I was shifted some, was writing more financial and property and casualty, it wasn't, they just didn't like that style of agent. It wasn't anything that I did wrong. It wasn't anything they did wrong. It just was, hey, we're really more a life insurance company, more than an investment, more than a property and casualty company. So on all good terms, still have products, still love my products, no ill will.
And then did you start Paradiso when you left New York Life?
I did. I started that and had it even when I was at New York Life. It was just years into it that they said, hey, your shift is way more away from life insurance. So by June of 2006, I was more of a P&C and investment firm.
So talk a little bit about the way Paradiso Insurance looks now, because you've grown quite a bit.
Yeah, we're uniquely different in the insurance space. We have multiple different companies that fall under Paradiso Financial and Insurance Services. We have a division under a separate name that has the financial aspect due to the regulations. We have a division that handles med supplements. And then we have the P&C operation, which has 5 or 6 sister companies underneath it. So we've expanded and been very blessed and fortunate to get to that next level.
Awesome. And then you've built quite a team as well. Talk a little bit about the team.
Team is unique in the insurance space. Average age, we're about 44, 45
You're
people.
skewing younger.
Average age is 32. We
Yeah.
have about 44, 45 people. We've added a few. We're adding a few more. Nervous to get to that 50 mark because obviously things change once you get to that 50 mark. But Culture-wise, very young, very hungry, very eager. Not your typical firm in the senses of a very vibrant. We have a full-time marketing team, 3 people. We love social, we love digital, we love the customer experience. We play and have a very interesting tech stack here. We do a lot with our data, which is kind of forward thinking in the senses of what's going on in today's world. Now everybody talks about data, but we've been focused on very clean data, number one, and number two, utilizing that data to give a better customer experience. So we actually have a program where when we hang up the phone with a customer, we don't have to ask you. It will tell us how happy you are with us based on tone of voice and the words you say, along with emails and along with social. So it actually grabs what you're saying out there about us. So very unique in the senses of we are all in on the customer experience.
That is fantastic. I'd love to learn more about that process on a separate note.
Yeah.
Now, what do you have a number of different offerings? Do those silo into, like, who's your ideal client for Paradiso?
So each division has a different silo. For example, we are the largest writers of parcel delivery contractors in the United States, which most people think of parcel, they'll think of Amazon, they'll think of FedEx, they'll think of DHL, but that is a specialty market here that we do multiple aspects for them from.
So is that when I go to UPS or whatever and they say, do you want to insure your package? Is that what you're saying? No. What is parcel insurance?
So parcel is when you see a really easy example, when you see the FedEx contractors on the traveling, you see the tractor trailers or the person delivering the package to your office or to your home, there's a very good chance we're insuring that contractor. So along with offering of the health insurance and 401ks and other forms of benefits.
Okay, so you are the largest and provider of the parcel insurance, and then who are ideal clients for the other silos, other divisions?
The other silos are uniquely different in the senses of we have middle market, which is the average. So we have a wonderful tile store called Universal Ceramic Tile. They would be a middle market client. Why middle market? You're talking about 5 million in sales, 5 million to 15 million in sales, roughly 15 to 30 employees. That's kind of our ideal spot in the middle market. Small commercial, we really are all about the online and really ease of doing business. So we have a really easy platform with technology to be able to quote that small commercial in less than 6 minutes with multiple carriers, make that easy. And then personal lines, we're really, we're not that monoline type agency, meaning we don't just write your auto. If we're not writing on a home, auto, and umbrella, so we're really not looking for, I hate to say the younger generation, we're really looking for people who have a family, all the way up to, I would say our sweet spot is at 65, because once the 65-year-old, they are more loyal, the older generation. They believe in insurance. They want to be protected by insurance. They're not looking at it as 15 minutes is going to save you 15%. So we're not your tip. We don't compete against the Geicos or the Progressives online. That's not our ideal. Our ideal client is somebody who has something to protect, including their family.
How do you get the word out about how you're different?
We love, as crazy as this sounds, it was our 12-year anniversary on YouTube the other day. So we've been on YouTube for 12 years. Video has played an instrument, just an enormous role, number one. Number two, I would say we've had a digital presence since 2010. So email marketing is, as I would call it, old. A lot of people just getting into it, but we've been very fortunate to have a really good strategy. And then we also do print, and we do a lot of old fashioned styles of marketing. So we really believe here at Paradiso Insurance with 3 full-time marketing people that a digital presence is just as important as print. And I know some people are going to shake their head on that.
I'm going to say we've been doing more and more print because fewer and fewer people are cutting back, which gives us more opportunity.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree.
You've achieved so much success over the years. What's your biggest challenge now?
I would tell you, I would challenge that success, because success to me is going to be very different to most people. I won yesterday, but today's a new game. So I would just challenge that somebody like me really believes that winning, it's like rent is due daily, right? So our biggest challenge right today, I would tell you, of business is really just continuing to recruit and finding that open-minded, younger, love to get some more males in this industry. Males are out there selling, but they're not servicing. So it's vice versa, right? We're not finding the women to get out there to get out there and hustle in the senses of salespeople, but we're finding the men. But a good combination would play instrumental in our culture. So love to find a few guys internally and love to find a few women who are outside salespeople. Culture matters in a big way today.
Absolutely. Well, your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
I get to help people every single day in something that most people hate, insurance. And I also get to be there when they need me most. Very selfish when it comes to that. You have a claim or a house fire, that's where I'm going to shine. That's where my team's going to shine. We invest in that because we need to be different. And as I was raised and having a mentor, and he said, nobody thinks of insurance. Everybody thinks of price. But when you have a claim, nobody thinks of price. They only think of one thing. Do I have the coverage, and are you there helping me along the process? So I just absolutely love to help people, and it's very selfish because I get a very rewarding internal vibe from being there at the time that they need me most.
Well, if that's your definition of selfish, I think you're doing pretty well. For our viewers and our listeners who want to learn more, where is the best place for them to go?
Well, if you Google Chris Paradiso, it's going to give you the options of whatever you want to connect with me, whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's my email. They're all there. LinkedIn is a passion of mine. I really love B2B, but I'm there on Facebook and Twitter or any other forum. Whatever the listeners really want to get to me at, they can get to me at.
Awesome. We will send them all to find you. This has been Seth Greene with Chris Paradiso, paradisoinsurance.com. Chris, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks everybody for watching or listening. We'll talk to you or see you next time.